Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Welcome to my presentation. Today, I would like to present my presentation about a systematical review of readiness for change human and organizational resources, past, present, and future. Let me introduce myself. I'm Devikanti Dwanti. I'm a lecturer at Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. In my presentation, I would like to divide my presentation to 3 points. The first is research background, the second is research methodology, and the last is result and discussion. Well, let's move to the next slide. Research background. Readiness to change in individual can bring various benefits to implementing organizational change. Readiness to change that has been formed before implementing changes has a positive impact on employee satisfaction with system accuracy. In this brief description, it is interpreted that readiness is defined as a characteristic of a person, group of individuals, or organization that at some point capture the willingness and capacity to adopt new practice or carry out existing practice in new ways. Talking about readiness for change in an organization is very much determined by how organizational change occurs. Therefore, readiness for change is needed to reduce resistance to change. Readiness to change is defined as behavior toward the desired outcome. This study investigates how does the readiness for change in human resources and organization process from the development and factors that encourage the presence of change readiness. Okay, let's move to the next slide. I would like to explain about literature review. In an organization, change is unavoidable as in technological advance, new communication trends, regulation, and new environmental and social aspects. Therefore, individuals and organizations take a role in change through various ways. To increase readiness for change and reduce or eliminate resistance to change, management can consider the following. One is management must be open and transparent to employees regarding the background, objective, and process of change to be carried out if necessary. And then number 2, involve employees in the change process with two-way communication and trust employees by involving them in the decision or making process, either through the labor union or the task force team, so that communication with employees runs effective. And the last, establish a change management unit to facilitate all sign on the change effectively by appointing a spirit ambassador. As a reinforcement of this understanding, Armanekin states that readiness for change is manifest in belief, attitude, and intention regarding that changes need to be made and the organization's ability to successfully make these changes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the next slide, I would like to explain about methodology. This research was through a systematic review approach on approximately 100 journals about readiness for change, human and organizational resources, past, present, and future. Furthermore, the scheme was made on readiness for change development. And then we discuss about result and discussion. Across various disciplines, readiness to change has been theorized as a critical component contributing to the success of intervention and quality improvement effort. The study of readiness for change has a long history in the area of business, health care, and occupational and organizational psychology. Organizational readiness for change is multi-level and multifaceted development. In addition, the reason for the change readiness assessment is to examine the level of readiness of condition, attitude, and resources at all levels in a system. Okay, in the next slide, I would like to explain. There are several internal and external factors of change readiness of human resource and organization. The first important factor in creating readiness for change, as proposed by Armenikis in 2007, is the difference. They characterize as the difference between an existing state and an anticipated future state. And then the second factor is feasibility. Management should clearly establish that the anticipated change is the right change to make. Organizational members may appreciate the need for change, but may not be sure about certain changes recommended by management. The third factor is efficacy. This is where management must build the trust of organizational members to assure them that they have what it takes to make a change. And the last, or the fourth point factor is the man support. This involves organizational support the change. Okay. In the next slide, I will continue about internal factors that affect readiness in the face of change are psychological capital. And then the external factors that affect readiness in the face of change are an organizational commitment. Okay, in the next slide, please kindly, we can look at figure conceptual models. A model related to the variable of readiness to change of human resource and organization. Conceptual models for readiness and factors affecting system readiness and social relationship, beliefs, and attitude. And next, in the last point here, the most common change model is the Lewin-Change model, which report that organizational change involves moving from one standing state through a development shift to another standing state. The model consists of three stages. namely the unfreezing, moving, and moving. And the last is conclusion. Lutens and friends in 2007 said that psychological capital is a positive psychological capacity possessed by each individual that is useful in helping the individual to develop, which is characteristic. There are several here, a point. Number one is self-efficacy to complete work. Number two, have positive expectation or optimism about current and future success. Number three, persevering in hope in success. And number four, resilient in the face of various problems. Okay. This is my presentation and thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.